everybody. It's Sherry with Alleged Acne. And
Yeah.
yes, today I'm joined with my lovely co-host. Bria, we have missed you.
Oh, I've missed you too. It's been a lot of, I've moved, as you can all tell. And so just that, my new relationship, also work has been work. So,
So life has been
but
lifing, basically.
yes, it has. Boy,
Okay,
but
but in a good way.
yes, good things. Yes, all good things.
Good,
But
good, good.
good to be back. Good to be back.
Well, welcome back. So, guys, today we are here to talk about the show that is a buzz everywhere, Perfect Match on Netflix. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, this reality TV gold, it just, excuse me, guys. It just is so exciting when you roll up on a show because don't get me wrong, I love me some Bravo and the Housewives and all that. But the format can get a little dry, and you know that we've been struggling a little bit with these shows. So this is a breath of fresh air. So we wanted to hop on and just chat with you guys about Perfect Match. We hope you're watching, and if not, spoiler alert, we are going to talk about who's matched with who goes home, all that. So if you haven't watched, hop off, watch, then come back and let's chat about it. So quick admin things. Go ahead and like this video. And then if you're not already an actualizer, why not? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. And then we do reality TV recaps, we do pop culture, and we've even started delving into interviews, which tomorrow we'll be dropping a very important interview with Morgana Jones, who is a co-author of Design Your Mindset. You are going to want to tune in for that. Get your financial success tips right here on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. But for tonight, we are talking about Perfect Match on Netflix. So Bria,
Yes.
what were your thoughts?
Oh, I have so many. First of all, I didn't know. Okay, so I knew about Love is Blind. I knew about The Mole, but there's a lot of shows that they plug that I never like. The Trust,
Oh, I watched The Trust. Listen,
I
Bria,
gotta get
let me
into
tell you,
that because
Tolu did her thing on The Trust from day one. She put it in a choke hold. You need to go watch The Trust. You need to watch the Squid Games challenge that Brighton was on. I'm just trying to tell you what I didn't watch, and I'm like you. There's shows I hadn't heard of, like Dated and Related, or Related and Dated.
I did see that one. That was
Okay.
it was all right. It
Okay.
wasn't, but yeah, like that. Of course, you've seen Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind,
Sure.
all those, of course. But yes,
Yeah,
they're plugging their other shows too, is what,
they
because
are.
I've never heard of some of these.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, so I think that the standouts, because it's not really a recap, we're just talking about it.
We're just chatting
You
today.
know,
This is just lighthearted chat about how we
yeah,
felt about the show, guys.
yes. So, my standouts are, of course, Tolu and I'd say at least Xanthi. Is that her name, Xanthi?
Xanthi. Mm-hmm.
Of course, the heartthrob Harry,
Yeah.
Dom, and I know
Giving
that's
Dennis Rodman.
yes, and Jess.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to, I guess, what was the like of those? What I guess piqued your interest?
Okay. Well, for me, when they first started off, because I like I told you guys, I did watch The Trust. It was excellent. I also did watch Squid Games, and then there was another one that Justin was on. I actually watched that show, and I can't think of the name of it, but so some of those I had watched. I was really excited because they weren't as popular as some of the other shows on Netflix. So it was really cool to see some of my faves coming on this show. Tolu was one of them. Tolu, sorry. I was excited. Love is Blind, of course, is one of my faves. I was excited to see Micah and Izzy, but child, we got to get to that. Listen, I also was excited about Elise. She just had a swag about her that I knew she was going to be good TV.
Yes.
She did.
Love her.
And Harry is a heartthrob. Not my typical type, but he has so much swag, does he not?
Doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
And I love cute little Dominique. I think, y'all, we got to get into it. So when it starts, we start off with our originals. And, you know, Nick Lachey is hosting by himself, at least for the show piece. Did you notice, Bria? Maybe he always did Perfect Match by himself, but
yeah, I think that's more of a him thing. It doesn't say, I got to go back to last season, but I want to say it just had Nick Lachey. It didn't have Vanessa.
Okay, because I was wondering, did they get the memo that Vanessa wasn't likable and that's why she wasn't up there? But could have always been his thing. I did watch last season, but I just didn't recall. But that's one thing. Nick Lachey is the host.
Mm-hmm.
And the original singles that were up there was Elise, Dominique, Tolu, Xanthi, Micah, and then we had Harry, Brighton, Izzy, Kaz, and Steven. So the way it works is they have to be coupled up. The first one, you get your first couple up, and then they do a challenge. But so the very first coupling was Elise and Harry, Dominique and Brighton, Tolu and Izzy, Xanthi and Kaz, and Micah and Steven. What did you think about that original coupling?
I think that I would say a majority of them were shamed. A lot of the people that they set out to match with did not want to match with them, and they're like, oh, I guess fine, I'll just do this, I guess. And that's what that gave to me. It didn't seem like we were matches. It seemed like, I guess, you know, like,
right. Let me just get somebody so I can go ahead to the room and we can get on with the game. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It totally gave.
Started acting up.
Oh, it's okay. Let Paris have some cam time. She's.
Yeah, what do you want from? Okay. Come here.
So, guys, the thing was, so we ended up, the couples that ended up was, I did just say the coupling, but the initial efforts by Izzy with Micah, it was hard to watch. And if y'all remember when they were doing the Love is Blind reunion and they kind of panned to them,
yes,
already,
it made it seem like they were matched, and that this is kind of them, like, but as we see, Micah was like, absolutely not. No, sir.
I mean, literally, she all but said, matter of fact, she pretty much said, nah, bruh.
No.
And you know what? I don't remember Micah being so introverted on Love is Blind.
No, I don't remember that either. And I really think that she's trying to play this game calculated. I think that she saw how she looked.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, so the audience didn't receive that well, but I'm gonna try to play this new character so that I'm received better. And it's giving that's not how I really am in real life, but I need for people to like me. I need my followers up. I don't got enough followers. I need followers. That's what it's
giving. Her true colors come out though as we keep going. But on episode 1, I will say, because like I said, we're not giving full recaps, y'all. We're just giving our takes on things and our highlights. But after they all coupled, and I gave you the couples, it was Trouble in Paradise. The next time they had a challenge, and the winners of that challenge was Elise and no. Who was the winner on the first challenge? I don't think I wrote that down.
It wasn't yeah, I'm sorry guys, it's embarrassing.
I think it wasn't it Elise and Harry?
I think it was, if I'm not
It
But
was
I
Elise
don't.
and Harry.
Okay.
Because I just remember, and what I remember, because granted, because I wasn't sure when I was first watching the first episode if I was going to actually add this to the lineup. But some of the takeaways: Dominique and Brighton. Dominique was physically attracted to Brighton, but if you guys watch him on Squid Games, he is insufferable. That boy has some problems. He is the epitome of a bratty, narcissistic, ego.
Hold on, just a little, because what it looks like it was the kissing challenge, the first one.
It was the kissing challenge.
It was won by Kaz and Micah.
No, because then they had to have had a recoupling then prior, because initially Micah was with Steven. So remember when Micah and Xanthi, or actually Kaz and Steven, asked to wife swap? And so when they decided to wife swap, it ended up that Micah and Kaz were together and Xanthi and Steven.
Yes.
Okay, so that may have been before they even got into the challenge. So, right. And so after the kissing challenge, okay, so they won. Micah and that's right. So then they decided that it would be best because Brighton and Dominique, they argued from night one. It was a stupid argument about exercise. What was considered exercise, honey? He was saying Pilates wasn't, and Chad was just so silly. But
very silly.
It was. The two of them were toxic. She was so attracted to him, but it just wasn't gonna work out.
I think even when they were arguing, she was like, I wasn't mad, but like, he's so cute.
So cute.
Yes. Not cute enough.
No, not cute enough.
Not cute enough for all that.
No. So they decided that they would let Tolu and Dominique be chosen because they were going to bring two new guys on. So each time they have a challenge and the winning couple goes in to the boardroom and they have all of the singles that are there, then they have the singles at top that they can invite in that can come in and shake things up to be recoupled, or they can choose one for themselves. So they did choose for Tolu and for Dominique. They brought in Chris and they brought in Dom from season 1. And at first, what was funny about it, because episode 1, it goes off with Dom, with her being chosen and Dom being her date, because it wasn't obvious that they were going to choose him. They had Chris up there, but it wasn't obvious because Harry had issues with him prior to. Because Dom's girlfriend, Harry, she cheated on Dom with Harry. So it was Harry and Elise in the boardroom. It was.
Yeah, okay.
It was right. For the first one. The kissing challenge, you're right, Mike and Cass did win. But the first challenge was not that. The first challenge was the cage things, when they were trying to shake their bodies to get across first. They had the cages over the water and the couples were in there and they had to use their momentum to see who would get to the other side first. So that was the first challenge, guys. Bear with us. Like I said, this is not a real recap.
We watch a lot of reality shows, so it gets worse sometimes.
Y'all watch it too, so now you know what we're talking about. So it was Harry and Elise that won the first one. They chose for Dominique and Tolu, Chris and Dom from season 1. So the way it works, they went on their dates, and initially I had a feeling, Bria, and I don't know about you, but for both Dominique and Tolu, I knew the chemistry was not there for their dates. I don't care. They had to do a strategy move, but no, ma'am. The unfortunate thing, though, Tolu and Izzy, even though Izzy was playing Tolu, she believed that he was on his grown man stuff and was really trying to get to know her. Now, what were your thoughts? Because a lot of folks are hitting her on IG saying they are so angry at Dom. And my thing is, they were like, bring Izzy back. And I'm like, no, ma'am. I went up there and said no, because he did better. Because when Micah shot him down, he tries to come back and give it another. No, ma'am. It was giving, I just want to be in the house.
That is exactly what it gave. He saw that no one was checking for her for real, and he wanted to stay in the house. That's what it was.
That's all it was.
If you're really going to be, and I think
Let's
Tolu
get
was
into it.
no, because I do. I think Tolu was so pretty,
She's
but
gorgeous.
I wish, and I don't know if any are going to see this, but Black women who are on reality shows that are adjacent to this on
Dating
Netflix,
shows. Yeah.
please stop going up there and embarrassing yourselves. Stop.
And or those said shows need to bring in singles that are a much more fair game for everybody, right? Because routinely what happens is the Black males that they put on the show are their types are generally of either the Jessica or someone
or
like
Micah.
a Laura or
Yes.
so
Yeah.
you don't it not always, but
Not
I mean
always.
the good
No, I'm
thing.
not saying all the time, but I would say the ones that go on these shows, that is what they're looking for. They're not looking for a Tolu, not even a Melinda. They are looking for Jess. They're looking for a Jess type, or even I'm not even a Micah type who isn't as attractive, but she's blonde,
she's blonde.
and she's got, the following to, what I'm saying? No disrespect to Micah. I just think you're mid, like when it comes to attractive.
Agreed.
And people might say the same thing to me. I don't care.
I mean, it's okay. You have your opinion. That's what we're here for.
You can literally see a Micah like going to the gas station. I mean, she looks very average to me. So, but that is typically what they go for. They're not going for beautiful high cheekbone, beautiful skin, Tolu or Melinda. They're going for that.
The good thing though is Tolu is open, and so where she did think that her and Dom may have had some chemistry going because he led her to believe that. So what the recoupling ends up being is now it's Tolu and Dom. It's still Harry and Elise. It is Dominique and Chris now. When Chris was brought in for the date, she says goodbye to Brighton and his brattiness, who was so sure he wasn't going nowhere. Child, that was good to me when he had to leave.
It was good to me too, for real.
It was good to me. So Izzy gets left because no one couples with Izzy. He leaves and Brighton leaves. So that's the first two males to leave. And so then we come back. The next challenge they do is the kissing challenge. And yes, Micah and Kaz do win that one. Because by the time we get to this episode, like I said, they did the wife swap. Steven and Xanthi are now a couple, and Micah and Kaz, Xanthi tried to fight it, but she loves a bad boy, and Steven is giving tatted up rocker boy, bad boy vibes. So that's how we come into the next episode. And so at this point, when Micah and Kaz win, they do a shakeup, and they decide to then bring in Harry's type, which is our dear friend Jessica, Jess from Love is Blind. And they also bring in Allura. No. Yes.
Allura.
They bring in Allura. That shakes things up for Steven. So, and it was funny because when they picked Allura, I was so sure because if you remember, Cass said they were on the same show, Dated and Related, and he was like, she dated my brother. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she's going to totally go for Dom or, maybe even Cass. But it wasn't that she didn't want to.
Because she was feeling Dom a little bit.
She said it. And that was going to be the plan. But Dom kept saying, and I think this was him trying to portray himself as a good guy, that he was trying to be respectful of Tolu, and he was fighting it. And then he decides, the more he saw her, that no, I'm not going to make the same mistake I did on season 1 where I was a good boy and like I coupled up and I was faithful to that and I didn't get to know other people. Ciao. It's just that this girl was more his type. That's all that was.
That's it. Because he wasn't saying all of this about Tolu when first
he was not. Not at all. Not at
No.
all. I mean, their conversation flowed and they seemed to have a good time together. But let's be clear, the chemistry, once it's there, you can see it, and it was not there. And is it just me, or is Dom giving Dennis Rodman circa 1990 something?
It is not just you. I'm on Reddit right now and I literally see that, not verbatim, but knockoff Dennis Rodman.
Good, very much so. Very much so. Knockoff. Shout out to Dennis Rodman. So, honey, from there, the couples get shaken up because Steven is just immediately he is drawn to Laura. And he is also torn because he also likes Xanthi. But at this point, I think he starts to see the urgency because Dom is circling like a vulture.
Oh, he
And
is.
so, yeah, and before, and he did it so smooth because before Dom could get to her, he goes and has his talk with Xanthi saying, yeah, I think I'm gonna explore this. Child, and swoops in and gets the girl and leaves Dom looking foolish. But what I loved, and can you please enlighten me on the moment that Chris brought Dominique and Xanthi together to tell them that he wasn't feeling either one of them. When Xanthi wasn't even coupled with him at all. And Dominique, that's another thing, y'all. Dominique and Chris, he just wasn't her type.
No.
And it just did not gel. And she was like, boy, bye. Was that not the stupidest moment?
It was so dumb.
It was so dumb.
It was. I felt for Xanthi though, because like okay, so when Steven, I'm saying you're right, Steven.
Yes, 7. Like the number 7.
Yes, when he had that conversation with Xanthi, and she was like, okay, so what you're telling me is that you're gonna stay with me, but you're going to, try to explore. He was like, no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to couple with Laura. That's exactly what I'm gonna like. You're great, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over there. Best of luck to you, Chief. Literally. But I respect that. I respect a guy that can just tell you what it is right there.
I do too.
Yes.
I think that's key. That's key in this game.
Yes.
And I think that all involved, that's what okay, so let's get to Harry. Harry was sent on a date with Jess, but we already knew, and he said that he tends to go for the short brunette, and Michael was messy. Michael was mad messy to bring her in, and Elise was not here for it, child. She's coming back with Ruthless. Y'all, it's gonna be so good come Friday when the new one's hit, child. Anywho, let me just say,
she didn't. Yeah,
true to form.
Lying down for sure.
Oh, you think? Mm-hmm. True to form. What is so funny is Harry. Jessica just takes him in a chokehold. That girl is good. I mean, almost has literally did have the man in tears by the end of the episode.
Absolutely did, yes.
She's a bad girl now. She a bad girl. Mm-hmm. But so what he did where he messed up is he told her, yes, I'm coupled up with Elise, but we're just on a friend level. Child. Mm-hmm. We're just friends. He was giving that. And Jessica goes back to the girls. They're trying to get the tea. And she tells him, yeah, Harry told me he was coupled up with Elise. However, he said that, they couldn't get past the friend zone.
And there was a collective gasp amongst the girls.
Was it not?
They thought that they were the strongest couple there. Like, what?
But in all actuality, at first they were giving power couple. They weren't at first.
They honestly were, yes. But because Harry knows how to play this game.
He does.
He's been on Too Hot to Handle, and wasn't he? Was he on last season of Perfect Match? I don't know, but I feel like I've seen him on another show like this where
Harry has definitely gotten around, honey.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. So, child. So since that happened, Elise was like, "Okay, I see you. Okay." So we already know that Dominique and Chris are not getting along. And this is the guys' week, so they get to pick who they couple with, child. And she went and made a deal with him. Listen, what we're not going to do is, because Harry and Jess, match early, and they went on to the room. So they were not privy on who was all there and who had left until the next morning, which was good to me. So Elise makes a deal with Chris, and they are coupled up. So she's going to stay in the house because she said, what you're not going to do is play in my face and think I'm not coming for you. Yeah. So then this recoupling, we have Jessica and Harry. We have Chris and Elise. We have Tolu and Dom still because Dom's face hit the floor when Steven swooped in and kept Alora. Okay. And who am I missing, Bree? Oh, Micah and Cass, child. So, okay. We go on into the next date. So remember, this one was the guys' night. So we flip back to the girls, okay? So on the next episode, it's the girls are in charge. They have another challenge. And this time, let's see, they do the compatibility challenge. Okay. And so basically, after that, let's see who wins that one. No, actually.
We went Dom.
No.
Okay.
It was Tolu and Dom that won. They won. So they won. So they're the ones that go in the boardroom. And so what was so funny, y'all, is when they went in the boardroom, Dom told her to pick somebody to couple with herself, child. She was, so, you know what? That's where I lost every bit of my respect. Because now it was clear he was feeling Alora. He never said that, though. He watched Steven and Alora decide to match up. Then he goes back to Tolu as if he chose her because he respects her and still wants to get to know her. He doesn't say.
We'll see. That night, remember, because he told Tolu, was like, I'm gonna make sure I'm exploring my options to see if this is what I really want. And then Tolu comes back like a sad little puppy, like, well, I'm just wondering, like,
what's your decision?
Oh Lord, hold on. Feeder is going off.
What is that?
It's a cat feeder that we have.
Oh, okay. Nice.
For Willow.
While the cat feeder is going off, let me just say,
yes. Good.
Let me just say that Dom did her so dirty in that boardroom because she was fully ready to do some strategy because that is what Tolu does best. If you watch her on The Trust, she was not about trusting folks. She had let her guard down for this one, y'all. And Dom did her dirty. So she's to pick someone for herself. And then they decide, so let's see, they bring in Jake, and which was for her. And they bring in Justin for Elise because Elise is her girl. And because she knows that Chris and Elise were only matched together as friends to keep her in the house, she wants to bring in somebody for her. And when you guys watch it, Elise is this tall, like, she's like this tall, modelly, bad chick. And so Justin apparently is this tall, athletic guy. And they bring him in, which was a good add to the cast. I like Justin. And the girls seemed to like Justin. Justin was, but he was up there with Harry. I mean, not as far as cuteness, but he had that height. And so they brought him in. So Elise got to go on a date with Justin, which went well. But child, Tolu and Jake, that was a joke, y'all. And he was from The Ultimatum with his big head, Drake wannabe looking self. What a waste of airtime.
Exactly. He was he came out the gate just weird. Like, I want this in a woman. Like it was very kind of like that whole red pill type, and it just, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way, but luckily so
I was hoping, because I mean, if Tolu had continued with him, which, he didn't even, once he got in the house, he was about exploring his options.
He was like,
and
Tolu who? Yeah.
So it was like, and even she, though, I think she even saw it, like, it wasn't a match. I mean, she knew that. She didn't even seem the least bit at all worried about that, honey. Not at all. what was funny was on this one, they all are at the table together doing like a truth or dare type challenge thing. And Chris had made the decision that he was going to put in for Tolu, honey. And this wasn't the first time he said something about Tolu, though. I don't know if you caught that. He had mentioned her being
Yeah,
beautiful.
he did.
Yeah,
He did.
he did. He mentioned his past as being a stripper. And with all of them in queue, Jake sitting there seemingly got a little upset, but that was his ego child because he really didn't care about Tolu. But Tolu, I'm sorry. She does not like it when people are mispronouncing her name. It is not Tulu. It is
Tolu.
Tolu. Tolu. So let's get that right for our Nigerian queen. But so all of those that were left were at the table. There was dares to, kiss the one that you're feeling the most, which Elise kisses Alora, I think it was.
Oh man. Yeah. No.
She did. It was a joke. And then the thing was they dared Chris to do his striptease, to give Tolu a lap dance, which he did, honey. He brought out he dusted off his old stripper whole self, and he proceeds to give Tolu a serious lap dance. And then, honey, when the he goes back to the table, it was like Uno reverse. He's like, "No, honey, I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna dare my own self to kiss you, for you to sit on my lap. I'm gonna dare you to kiss me sitting on my lap." So he did a serious play for Tolu. Now, how sincere did you take that, Bria? Did you think he's feeling it? I think he is. What do you think?
I think he is too. I think that I want to see a little bit more
Yeah.
from him in the next episodes, but I think he is as a brown skin chocolate toned woman. There we have to look for certain cues and clues to like let us know like this is going to just be for fun. And I'm saying like all women have to do that. However,
I
there's
was about to
I
say,
feel
yeah,
like
your reflections doesn't
I
have to
feel
do
like
that.
I don't know. I feel like there's an extra layer that we have to go through because all of this anyway. I just want to see a little bit more from him. I do think
agree.
from what I've seen so far, he seems sincere though.
He does. And so at this point now, I will remind you guys where we're at. So what we have now, we have Jake has entered the chat. We now have Justin in the chat. Now remember, at last, Dom was coupled with Tolu. He sent Tolu to send herself on a date with Jake. Okay, so she makes a decision, or this is the guys' night. So, everybody's coupling up pretty fast. So Jess and Harry are still coupled. Micah and Kaz are still coupled. Steven and Alora are still coupled. But there was a moment where Alora was about to see yet again. And that's when Steven really pulled out all the stops. And he cooked for her. He just really, Dom was trying to make his play for Alora, but at this point, they were solid. And so she basically told him, "Hey, I'm good."
Right.
And Tolu was like, "Bruh, you tried it." And then what killed me, because Chris and Tolu had matched up. So now Dom's mad. So Dom, with his hate and tail, drops bombshells on Harry saying, he's like, I tried to do this right. I tried to be the good guy, whatever. Because he knew he was going home at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Jake had tried to shoot his shot with Micah. It was a no. He tried with Alora. It was a bell no. Right. And so then he tried to circle back and tell boy, if you don't get. So it was a serious no. And so then Jake accepted his fate, but Dom was still. And so Harry's like, "Hey, won't you give it a shot with Elise?" But he was like, "Look, I try to do it the right way, whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, man, you just have to, keep weighing your options, like try that." And then he drops on Harry like, "Well, why are you here?" And Jess being Jess, because she's listening, she done heard from the girls. He's not sincere. Yes. He has this reputation. He lied to Elise. he's a liar, blah, blah, blah. So now she's like, her radar is up. And so basically, honey, she's got questions. Harry and her are matched. Dom then goes to Elise and's like, I didn't get a chance to really talk. She was like, boy, bye.
Right.
She was like, under the circumstances, it would never work. I mean, Harry and him are friends, and
right. No,
he tried it.
he did. He wanted to stay on the show to try to, I guess,
try to keep getting at Alora. I
yes,
think, or see if someone else came along, child.
right. Someone, right. That, never mind. More his type. That looks like
More his type.
Laura and Jess.
Yes. Okay. So now we have Justin and Elise, Tolu and Chris, Micah and Kaz, Harry and Jess, and who did I miss? Let's see. I said, because it's 5 couples.
Say Micah and
Kaz, Tolu and Chris, Elise and Justin, Harry and Justin, Steven, and Alora. Okay, so those are our 5 couples that are now coupled up. So on this one, that Jess does confront him about all the things that she's hearing, that, she's trying to give it a chance, but it's hard when everybody's in her ear. Child, Harry resorts to tears. And it works.
Of course. And I just want to aside, those tears were real. They were there, but they were not because of Jess. He literally felt bad for himself because a lot of, I'm not gonna go as far to call him a narcissist, but they truly believe they're being attacked when you call them out on their stuff.
Yeah.
They truly believe, like you were saying, when you're literally just trying to get clarity on stuff. And so, yes,
I'll give you that.
Those tears were right. Those tears were real, but it was for him. He felt bad for himself. He genuinely felt bad.
I think so. And I think he was frustrated because he was trying to paint himself as like he has got his grown man on, all his player ways are done. He wants kids. He loves that she has a child. I mean, he's pulling out the stops for Jess. I mean, listen, we don't know where it goes, but you heard it here first. I highly doubt it. I just think Jess is too smart and he's got too much player still in him. But child. Anyway, so we're just about to wrap it up because we're getting down to the last episode that it leaves us off on before we get the new ones that'll drop on Friday. And we'll be back to talk about those as well. But let me just say, this one, Steven and Alora win the challenge, okay? And so they go in the boardroom. And they decide to shake things up and bring in Melinda or Chris. And Melinda was the host on Dated and Related, or Related and Dated.
She was, yes.
Yes. And they were bringing in Holly for Kaz, okay?
She was also, because Melinda was also on Too Hot to Handle. She
was. And from there, that's when she came on the other show. And so she actually had, she hosted Chris's season. So that's how Chris actually know her. Chris and his brother were on Dated and Related, and she was the host. And apparently seemed like he was feeling her while she was hosting his season, but child. So that is why Alora and Steven brought those two in. And up until this point, Micah was feeling very comfortable with Kaz. They had gone on a date. They were getting close. And it did seem like their relationship was really in the safe zone. So shaking it up was actually a strategic move for Steven and Alora. I was kind of surprised, but I thought when they went on the date, because Holly was gorgeous, and she's a brunette, taller, supposedly more his type. And she went in guns blazing. Their date was a clay bath. There was a lot of touching, and Micah's back at the place with her manipulative self. Because remember, it was Micah that did that big stir up that messed up Elise and Harry. Because Elise ain't far from her either. She ain't forgot about Micah either. So it's good to her spirit. But Micah is feeling very insecure back at the villa, and Kaz is trying to be a good guy. He's trying, but y'all, she makes the fatal mistake, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Melinda, y'all, they tried it with Melinda. I mean, I'm not going to say that Chris was not feeling her in some regard, but in the same way, like Jake, when he was on a date with Tolu, when he came back in the house, Melinda gets in the house and it's just like, Chris who? She quickly was about being loud and trying to get to know everybody, but in a very in your face kind of way.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead, Rhea, your thoughts?
I just think Melinda likes mess. I think she likes, I don't think that she's here for a long time. I think she's here for a good time.
Good time.
I think that she's here to, do her, throw a monkey wrench in, in a relationship, the one that she sees fit, and then like peace out. Like, I don't think that she's here to find her perfect match.
No, I mean, she all but said, I'm good with just, having some fun. That's not where she's at. So basically, the way the episode goes on, and Kaz is really struggling with his attraction to Holly, but his loyalty to Micah. And while he's trying to talk to Holly and he's talking through it with the guys, honey, comes to find out, Holly done been through, honey. She done been with Harry before and hooked up with Steven too. So I think if Kaz had that info, that might would have helped sway him back. But he is not privy to that, okay?
No.
But while he's trying to process, Micah is getting, hyped up from the girls, Tolu and her, because Tolu wasn't sure what was going to go down either. Chris was doing a little back and forth with Melinda, so Tolu's face was a little tore up too. However, Chris makes a decision that he really likes the connection he has with Tolu, and he wants to continue to pursue it. So they match up. So now Micah is out there on her own looking crazy. Tolu she done got her man. So Tolu's like, I hate it for you. Yeah, it's not fun here, is it? Mike, I hate it for you. It's not fun here. So right when Tolu and Chris were talking, we still got Elise and Justin, they're matched. Steven and Alara, they are going to match, they're matched. And at this point, Cass is still trying to make some decisions. Micah pulls him to the side because she tried to go up and interrupt. And Holly's like, give us a few more minutes. Tolu's with her. She was trying to get her nerve up. She tucks her tail and walks away. By this time, y'all, she gets herself all amped up, pulls him to the side finally. What does she do? Girls, we do it all the time. She calls the man a liar, and she shows her girl crazy.
You can't.
And when a man is teetering, tottering between you and the next chick, what you don't do, Micah.
You're cool. You gotta.
Cool. Child, it trailers off then. We don't know what his decision is, but he says, I was really leaning towards you, but you just called me a whole liar. Y'all, we are going to have to tune in next week to see predictions, Bria, because I certainly have mine.
See, here's the thing. My face has been played in way too many times with these reality shows, and I know that it seems like, but something tells me it's gonna be like, but our chemistry is great, and it makes it, I kind of like seeing that side of you. It's like,
you know what?
And like I said, it's just, I think that's how it's gonna go. I'm not, I don't. But I feel like I said, I've been played with way too many times. I agree because not that I'm not pulling for Micah, but Micah's messy, and I think Cass would do himself a disservice by picking Holly. Holly's a good time girl, honey. I think even though that was because what Steven said when he chose Holly for him is Cass is kind of like,
he was saying that Micah brings his vibration him to a low vibration. Because Micah is on this one very closed off. He was like, that's not you. Normally, Kaz is the one that's more outgoing and gets it popping. And he was like, yeah, with Micah, you just are very low vibrational, sir. So,
Yeah.
but my prediction is, Bria, I'm going to go say he's going to pick Holly. I'm going to say he picks Holly. And
you'd be well within your right. I just know that the way the length that Netflix has gone to play in my face.
This is true.
I just know that they're going to be like, but our time together has been so great, and the chemistry is just so.
So Micah fights to see another day, maybe. You think?
I believe so. I do.
So guys, those of you that are up to speed, put it in the comments.
Why you say that?
Yeah, let's put it in the comments. What do you think? I'm actually going to even put a poll out there on the community tab and see, who do you think Kaz picks, Holly or Micah? I'm just curious. And I want you guys to put in the comments, what are your thoughts on Perfect Match? Are you guys enjoying it? What are your thoughts on some of the couples we talked about, some of the people that got sent packing? Predictions on who the winner would be. It's hard to say now because all of them are not there, but we did get a little snippet to see that everyone is brought back. And I think that is to, essentially they have to vote for the perfect match. So I don't think it's to recouple or anything like that. It's just their input on who should be crowned perfect match.
From what I remember last time is they released these in like 3 installments. It's the first, then like the second one that leads up to announcing the winner, and then you have your last episode, the winner, and then like I think a reunion. Yes. So I don't that last one though, it seemed like there were some recouplings, but it was stupid, like Bartise and somebody else. I don't know. They didn't win anyway.
I remember that. I do. Oh, yeah. I do. God, not him. Oh dear. Yeah. I wanted to forget Bartise.
I don't think he's coming back, but I do remember because he was one of the wild cards they threw in there at the very last minute. He stayed in by the skin of his teeth and then played in a couple people's faces. So it I could see, oh boy, what's his name? Squid Games, Brighton
will be back. Yeah.
I could see him coming back, getting one of their attention because he is attractive. He's
very cute.
His personality is like it's not great.
It's the epitome of if you would just be quiet, but the minute you open your mouth, that's what he's giving. Yeah, he has. Absolutely. He's very mature. He has a lot of growing to do, but he's a very, very attractive guy. But he's definitely, and I don't know. I hope maturity will help that. I don't know. That may be beyond help.
No, honestly, that's a lot. Hopefully, the fact that he got shamed the way he did,
maybe it was humbling.
Yes, I would hope so. But sometimes
I would hope so.
People like that, it takes a little while because they're like, oh, well, she just did that. They'll think of like different scenarios.
Or he'll watch it and be like, oh, well, Chris and her didn't work. She picked wrong anyway. It won't occur to him that it was his behavior and the fact that he was so toxic and so argumentative with her and so demeaning of her that he had the girl in tears. It was pretty bad. But but guys, we're not gonna hold you. That's pretty much where we're at with Perfect Match. Like I said, put it in the comments. We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts were on some of our faves from Perfect Match. We will be back next week to talk about the new episodes that will be dropping tomorrow night. So y'all tune in. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night at 7 for my interview with Morgana Jones, the co-author of the book, Design Your Wealth Mindset. So you're not going to want to miss that. You need to get those tips, get your finances on point because financial freedom is something that everyone should experience. Absolutely. You want to get those tips to live a good financial, successful, free, and it all starts where? In the mind. Got to check in. This book is really good. And so check in with us tomorrow at 7 for the interview. And guys, we hope you have a great night. Bria, closing words?
I'm just gonna end it the way I usually do. I see you. I love you. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.